Hello, folks. How you doing? Subscribe. I'm going to talk about words of power called Heka or mantra. They are called Maa Kheru. And Maya means true, and Kheru means word. So we saying true or word. That's when people effectively use words to have an effect on human physiology. They're successful. They're called Maa Kheru, true of word, because they know how to use the words effectively. But these words don't have any verbal meaning, you see. And they originated with the first humans, okay, who used these words when they went hunting. But they didn't have a language, you know, in those days with the first humans. But they had to go find food. They had to go hunting, right? So we have the sounds that the animals made. The humans didn't have a language. They didn't have a verbal language. They went by the sounds that the animals made, and they start copying those sounds, you see. And so when they went hunting, let's say if they went hunting for, let's say, a baboon or something, they would make sounds that the baboon made. And the sounds then had the effect of relaxing the animal so that it wouldn't run away. In fact, the sound could attract the animal, you see, because the animal might want to check out and see, well, just what is it or who is it that's making the sound. And this would bring the animal into their bow distance, their bow and arrow distance, and they'd kill their prey. So these words, okay, stayed with the human species, the human family, even to this day, actually, because we still have hunter and gatherers in some places in the world, Africa, South America, etc. So these words of power are still used. Also, they're used in certain spiritual exercises. Okay, they call them mantra, you know, like the folks practicing, let's say, yoga, make certain sounds, you know, and these sounds presumably would be sounds without verbal meaning. Okay, because the original sounds, okay, were without verbal meaning, because the folks didn't have a language, and plus they were using, let's say, the animal sounds. So some of the early so-called gods in, say, the Kemite tradition or mythology, okay, and the Christian, were called the Word. In the Kemite tradition, the child god Tum was called the Word. The child god Heru, he too was called the Word. And in Christian tradition, we have Jesus was called the Word also. Okay? So what they were referring to when they called him the Word was these words of power. Okay? And the adult, though, okay, was the one that made the word true. Okay? So when you use a word of power or a mantra, whatever has been willed to happen, whatever the person who's using it wishes to happen, when it does happen, the person is called Maa Kheru, true of word, because he used the word correctly. Okay? But in the early traditions, like the Kemite and the Christian, like I said, it was the adult that made the word true. Okay? The young one was called the Word, but it was the adult who made it true. For example, it was Heru hog-headed, who was an adult in the Kimite tradition, and the Christ in the Christian tradition was an adult. He made the Word true also because he was successful in what he was trying to accomplish, that is, carrying out the will of the Father. So when a person wants to carry out a wish or will, his will within himself, to cause things to happen with himself, that is, to have an effect on the organs, the organ systems of the body respond to sound by way of the nervous system. Okay? So the human being is an electromagnetic creature, like other animals. See? And so the human body, okay, responds to sound, the human physiology, just like other animals. Well, a baby, you can sing a lullaby to a baby and the baby go to sleep because you have relaxed the baby and calmed the baby, etc. as a result of the sound of the song sung to the baby. You see? And so in the early days, okay, people used this sound to go out and do their hunting. Some people still do, as I mentioned. Music, everyone sort of realized that music has an effect on the human consciousness. Music can put a person to sleep. And then there's a sound or music that's repulsive, can drive a person away. You see? Now, in the ancient Egyptian tradition, you have a vulture and a serpent. A vulture, okay, and a serpent on the crown of the pharaoh, king, or god. There was these two animals, okay. One was attractive and one was repulsive. And they have to do with electromagnetic energy, okay. Now, once a person really incited these currents within the body, represented by the vulture and the serpent, once he incited these electromagnetic currents in the body, they would have the power, for example, to attract the person to something, okay? Attract the person to something that would be in harmony with what the person wanted to achieve or acquire. Okay? And so if the person was exposed to something that would have been detrimental to what he wanted to achieve, okay, the repulsive force, okay, would drive the person away from it. He wouldn't have anything to do with it due to this repulsive energy, okay, that can be summoned to guide him. And so, yes, these two creatures, the vulture and the serpent, were used, okay, electromagnetically, that is, by the pharaoh or his advisors, etc., okay, to guide the country through the electromagnetic energy, okay, that is symbolized by the vulture and the serpent, okay. This energy would attract the people, the pharaoh's advisors, staff, etc., to a situation that was in harmony with what the pharaoh and the country wanted to achieve. On the other side, there was the repulsive force that would repulse the folks from going in a direction or doing the things that would have been in disharmony with the wishes and desires and the will of the pharaoh and the country, rest of the country. You see? So using these forces, okay, by way of the words of power or the mantra, could create conditions within an individual who is using these forces to create an environment within himself, okay, that would be helpful to, let's say, healing an injury, for example. As electromagnetic energy flows through all the organs and glands of the body. Not only that, the words of power, the people could cause the glands to function in such a way that they desire. That is, to secrete the hormones that will be desired by a person when he's about to enter into a situation where he would need a certain mentality, etc. Because hormones would have the effect on that. Okay. So when they sing the chanting and so forth and so on, this is about what it's about, because we are electromagnetic creatures and we can summon the energy within ourselves in order to respond in such a way that it carries out our will, bring about our wishes or desires or, say, the will. Okay? And so this is such a person who is successful at this is called Maa Kheru. Okay? Okay, folks, have a good one. I'll be back with you, and subscribe. I have a lot more to talk about. All right, bye.